Welcome back. The Postal Service is proposing to close offices all around the country, including 2 at Fort Wainwright, say that faster, Wainwright and Eielson Air Force Base.
Downtown Fairbanks Post Office is expected to pick up the additional traffic if the closures do go through. Fairbanks Representative Scott Kawasaki opposes the closures, and he joins us now with more. Thanks so much for coming today.
Great to be here. Great to be here today.
And so give us a little bit of insight. What kind of impact would Fairbanks see if these closures did take place?
Well, you know, at first you think about it, Fairbanks has maybe half a dozen regular post offices in the vicinity, but it's a lot more spread out than Anchorage, and especially for the folks that are on base. And you're talking about families that are getting mail from their loved ones that are overseas, especially. And we had probably an audience of dozens of families that came in to testify specifically against the base closures. I mean, they were literally in tears, talking about the way that this was the meeting place for families. This is where families got to send messages off to their loved ones that are overseas. I think it's going to impact our post offices considerably.
I believe that. You look at Anchorage is different. If they close the one on J-Bear, it doesn't really affect people as much because there are post offices relatively close. But I don't think the feds realize that by closing Wainwright or Eielson, everything else is spread out. And you don't have the number, like you said. You don't have the concentration of post offices where the people who live on base can just zip right out, mail something, pick something up, and zip back.
Right. You know, and clearly, you know, there is a need to cut budgets. There's a need to find some tactical solutions in order to save more money. Wainwright was introduced as one of those post offices that actually make money for the system and post office system-wide, so it seems just a little bizarre that was one of the ones targeted for cuts.
How is it different than other post offices?
Well, I mean, particularly it's different from other post offices because it's right on base. It's access for military families, military spouses, especially the ones that are deployed overseas. It's the only communication link they often have with the deployed soldiers overseas. And so we really wanted to see those maintained. And then when it comes, of course, down to budgets, with a budget that actually nets positive for the post office, it seems like a terrible closure.
Are you confident that they will remain open?
Well, it's really up to the families right now. Families are writing in. The legislature, members of Congress, I know Senator Begich's office has been particularly helpful in trying to maintain the post office both at Fort Wainwright and at Eielson. But it's, you know, it's one of those things. We have folks that are saying that budgets need to be cut at some point in time. Where do we cut those? I think we need to take a real hard look at where we make those cuts, and I don't think Wainwright's really the best place to do that.
Have you spoken to our congressional delegation personally?
Right. Yes, I have. And Senator Begich has been leading on that issue, particularly for the Fairbanks area.
And I'm wondering also, in addition to Fairbanks, you know, talking about cutting the rural village post office, I know that can pose even more of a threat since that's their lifeline system. I mean, getting mail and whatnot. Getting
mail, sometimes it's not even just the regular pen pal letter you would expect to get, but it's actually physical food, clothing, things from Maine, Fairbanks area hub or Anchorage hub that need to get out to rural ports.
Right.
And you know, the closures could be disastrous for small communities especially.
I think we need to bring up some federal officials and have them try to go from Fairbanks out to rural Alaska to mail a letter or pick up a package or send something. They might be shocked.
Right. We're really living in the dark ages in a lot of communities across the state where they don't have broadband access, they don't have telecommunications, and they don't even have a television. So we're talking about places that sometimes the only connection they have is the good old post office.
Isn't that amazing? The handwritten letter continues.
Snail mail. I love it.
Oh, absolutely.
I love getting mail.
Yes, isn't it great? It's wonderful. Until they get that high-speed access, you know, a lot of people can't go to email.
Absolutely. Time for a short break. We'll be right back with our special guest, Representative Scott Kawasaki. Stay with us.